So my wonderful wife sent a reel of a stepdad who backed out of his stepdaughter's wedding because her real father came into the picture. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Lamont.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And welcome to the SOSAPIOSEXUal podcast, where attraction transcends physicality and sparks fly through engaging conversation.
So the video goes, there's a guy on the video, and he's explaining how his girlfriend's daughter, he keeps referring to her as a stepdaughter, she's basically getting married, and he paid for her college. He basically paid to raise her, and basically the whole thing. And she's getting married, so he felt as though he should have a lot to do with the wedding.
Yeah.
So he feels as though he should invite 20 of his friends. He feels as though he's volunteering using his house for the reception, the rehearsal dinner. And he felt as though he should have a lot to do with where they have where they have the wedding, the food they have, all that great stuff. Because he's paying for it. It's coming out of his pocket.
Yeah. So
he proceeds to explain how the daughter's biological father comes back into their life, and how he's upset because he feels as though he ain't do nothing. So now here he comes. The father hasn't done anything. The father doesn't do nothing. He's not on child support. He never paid a bill. He never, put any money towards the boyfriend of the woman, right? So he goes in a whole rant about that. So long story short, basically he said he's going to back out of the wedding because he feels as though he's just using ATM. So he's being taken advantage of because he's not allowed to bring his 20 guests. Right. He's having it in his house.
Right.
And the father is going to walk her down the aisle. And that was announced at this big rehearsal dinner.
That was like the big straw.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back, because he felt as though he doesn't do nothing. So how dare you just basically do this in front of my face?
Right.
I get it. So I agree with him. Financially, he's been taking care of this girl.
So you're saying that you agree with the stepfather?
Yes, I agree with the stepfather. I feel the stepfather should pull out financially, because if you want to have your dad, that's cool. If you want to have your biological dad, he ain't do too much of anything growing up, and you want him to foot the bill. But I feel as though it shouldn't fall on his money, because at the end of the day, he did take care of this girl, and the father didn't do anything. So now, if you're going to go the traditional way, the father pays for the wedding.
Traditionally, that's how it works. That's how it works.
This man is not her father. So again, you're talking about a boyfriend footing bills, and there's nothing. The father should take that responsibility and should take it. Now, whether or not he feels as though, he was just trying to do it because the kindness of his heart, I have no idea.
What, the stepfather?
Well, the boyfriend, I don't know. I have no idea. Yes, the boy, so to me, stepdad is different from when you call yourself
when you say boyfriend, it's kind of confusing. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out.
So the quote unquote stepfather, I don't refer him.
Boyfriend of the mother.
Correct.
And he's the stepfather of the daughter.
No, he's not stepfather, because he's not married to the mother. He is not anything step. Okay. You're only step when you're married. That's the only thing. You are a boyfriend, girlfriend. That's all you are.
But that's what he called himself, right? He called himself the stepfather.
Correct.
But he wasn't married to the mother.
But he's not married to the mother. We got to re-educate ourselves. That's not stepfather. Stepfather is when you're married and committed to the woman or the male, one or the other. That's when you become step. Because now you're taking obligations that do not belong to you. Now these are children that do not belong to you. Now, when he got married and he adopted her, that is now officially your stepdad, because he married my wife, my mother, and now he has responsibility of children.
How long was they dating for?
I don't think he said.
I think he did. I think he said they was dating for over 5 years.
It was like a long amount.
He was dating the mother for like 10 years.
It was 10 years, and I was like,
and he never married her.
I just thought it was. I mean, when I watched the video, the first thing I said was, "You never married her." So.
But you did agree that he.
But I agree 100%. Yeah, absolutely. He should not be obligated to pay for this young lady's wedding.
So it's a lot of. So when I watched it, I was kind of like, I watched it, and right off the bat, I was just like, what is he talking about? So when I was watching the video, I was looking at, to me, I saw a narcissistic person, a person that wanted to be admired for something that, that's wasn't even a big deal, right? So So this is why I say that, right?
Okay.
He volunteered to pay for everything, knowing that the daughter admired her biological father. No matter what, you can say that the biological father wasn't there. He hasn't contributed monetarily, but obviously she must have had a connection with her father because she was talking to her father. She wanted her father to walk her down the aisle. So, in my opinion, I don't understand why he's mad. It's not your day. Like, I was looking at it and it infuriated me because I was thinking like, yo, it's not your day. You don't, because he mentioned that, he first volunteered, like he volunteered his place to house 250
his
people.
His
house to house 250 people, right? Then he wanted 20 of his people to come. The stepdaughter denied it. She said that I don't want that.
Right.
The 20 people. He got mad about that
because they had 250 people coming. They couldn't add another 50.
He got mad about that. He's just
20,
like,
sorry.
you couldn't add the 20 people that I wanted. He got like, okay, right off the bat, that's a red flag. Why would you get mad? Because she didn't invite the 20 people that you wanted there?
Well, I get what he got mad. I mean,
how?
If he's footing a bill, the least thing you can contribute to is allowing him to have some of his friends there.
So I get where you coming from, but here's this. You volunteered to pay for this woman, for your quote unquote stepdaughter that's not really your stepdaughter.
Right.
You volunteered to pay for her wedding. So it's her wedding.
Right.
It's what she decides and who she decides to come.
Right.
You can't be like, you that wasn't in the that you didn't say, I paid for your wedding if my 20 people can come there. You didn't say that. You said you volunteered to pay for the wedding.
Right.
Now you pay for the wedding and you get mad that your 20 people that you wanted to come there, she didn't allow that? Like, come on now. You don't find that unreasonable?
I mean, I don't really, because that's like if you're footing like a party of some sort, because that's really what weddings are.
Yeah.
You're footing a party.
Well, right off the bat, a wedding is different from a party.
Absolutely.
But I'll let you
I agree
continue.
with that.
It's totally different
But it's
from
a celebration.
Party. It's a celebration of
a union. Right. I agree with that. But from his point of view, and again, he's footing all this money. So he's feeling like, I'm not asking for anything. I'm not requesting your mom to do this or do that. I only have 2 requests. One request, technically. Yeah. One request, which is just 20 people. If I'm paying over...
He had multiple requests. That was just the beginning of it. He had multiple requests. That was just his first request.
Oh, food. It wasn't a request, though.
Let's stick on the...
No, I'm trying to figure out the other request. Because from the video, I remember he just was requesting the 20 people. Then he had complaints about there was different things he was complaining about that he felt like it didn't fit his narrative, basically. Yeah. So
he complained about a lot of things.
He complained.
So he had a lot of requests, though.
Okay, but so he requested 20 people to an event that he's paying. He's footing, whether it be 50, 10,000, who knows whatever the price was. He's taking the ticket, the price, and he just wanted his 20 people to at least have people that he can, mingle with and have a good time. Now, I do agree with you. There is, which is very true, there's no obligation because, one, you're not my stepdad. You're not my dad of any sort because you are not married to my mother.
So when he got mad about, okay, the 20 people that he requested.
Right, his friend. Yeah.
It's just like, all right, why? Why would you get mad? You volunteered to make her day the best day that it's supposed to be. Why would you get mad because she didn't want the 20 people that if she picked if the venue can hold 250 people and she had 250 people that wanted to come to her wedding and your 20 people didn't fit in that count, then why get mad? It's her day. You volunteered to pay for it, bro.
But isn't that kind of how humans are? Where they feel like you do something for them, you owe them something in return?
But isn't that a bad way of thinking?
It's a horrible way of thinking, but I'm just saying this is how people think.
Well,
I do something for you, you do something for me.
That's the problem right there.
Right,
like,
I agree.
If you're going to do something out the kindness of your heart for somebody, especially a wedding, then if you're volunteer to pay for a wedding, then you're volunteer to pay for the wedding. He just wanted to boast about it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know the guy,
Right.
but from outside looking in, it feels like he just wanted to boast about it because we will further discuss of what else that happened. So that's just one aspect. The other aspect that he wanted was what, the food or something? The food?
Yeah, the food. He's allergic to like seafood or something like that. She had nothing but seafood, or had the
Yo.
father's favorite dish on there. He didn't even ask him what he wanted.
Exactly.
But there's no obligation. You're not married to this woman. You're not married to this
excluding the marriage though.
Right.
Like, okay, why was she? You're paying for the wedding. Why would she have to consider what you like to eat? Like, I don't understand.
I feel as though it goes back to what I just said. He felt as though I'm paying for the wedding. You owe me.
I feel like he was boasting. I
agree with that.
The whole thing.
I agree with the boasting part of it.
So, I think it was more of like a chauvinistic type of act. Right off the bat, I think it was chauvinistic.
Okay.
He said, I think that he only wanted to pay for the wedding just to stunt on a fucking real father. That's what pissed me off about the whole video. He wanted to stunt on a real father. Like, okay, yeah, I got your ex-girl and your daughter. I got all this money. I can pay for her wedding. You can't do nothing. You're a bum. This, that, and the third. And he had this whole plan in his head, like, oh, I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to pay for that. And the family going to fuck with me more than they fuck with you. Not realizing that even though he's doing all this for his stepdaughter, quote unquote stepdaughter, the father's still in the picture. And I feel like the daughter did the right thing. Instead of like going with somebody that's being chauvinistic, she went with her biological father because even though her biological father didn't have the money to pay for her wedding, that don't exclude him from being her biological father. And if she got a connection with her biological father, why was it a problem? Why was it a problem for her to put the things that she wanted in her wedding? I don't understand.
I don't think it was a problem until his money came into play. His money came in. If it was so, this would not even be a conversation if the father was paying for the wedding. The problem became when this man is taking stuff out of his pocket to pay. Now, do I agree with you? Did he have to do all this? No. He's been with this woman for 10 plus years. He ain't had to send her to college. He ain't had to do all that. But you did all that because you want to play house.
We ain't even get to that part.
You want to play house.
We ain't even mention that part. So, yeah, he paid for so much shit.
College.
He paid for... So, first of all, you got to think about what this man said. He got a house.
Yeah, that too.
He got a big ass house. If you can fit 250 people inside your house, then obviously you've been doing something great.
Well, he got the money.
You've been doing something great in your life. Where you got the money to house that many people inside your house, right? You met the mother having this money. You met the mother. And she already had a daughter before you. You met her, so you already trying to play hero
daddy.
in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Trying to play house in that situation. Okay, so boom. Let's just assume that it was all love, right? And you didn't get with her just to boast, right? You paid for the car that the stepdaughter drive.
Right, he
paid for a car.
Yep.
He said that he paid $40,000 for her college fees.
Yep.
And when she said that she was getting married, he volunteered to pay for her wedding. Who would say no?
But we also
Who would say no to that?
We also have to go back to, like, we don't know the background of these people. Two, if this woman has been, what's the word I'm looking for? If she got with this man and he set a standard of I'm taking care of you and your daughter, that is a given from this woman.
Right.
So you already set a standard of I'm going to take care of you. I'm rescuing the damsel in distress because you are a single mom and your daughter needs somebody in the house.
Yes.
So if that is the case, this woman didn't look at it as a problem until, I agree with you, until dad came into play again.
Right.
Now, going back to what you said before, you said there had to be some type of...
1 second. If the guy, he led with money. He led with money, then he
probably
had
did in
a
the beginning.
problem with people looking at him as an ATM. So now you can finish now.
So I'm trying to think, like, he had a problem with people looking at him like an ATM.
Because that's what he said.
He had a problem being, because now he's emotionally hurt because he feels as though I've been doing all this stuff in the background and now I'm trying to tell y'all the dirty laundry I've been doing. But again, if you have set this standard to this woman and been set a standard for her, so now all of a sudden this is what she's expecting from you.
Right.
You can't get mad at the fact that she's just like, oh, okay, well, good, you've been taking care of us the whole time, but you haven't been taking care of the woman. As in, you've been with her for 10 plus years. The end. That's it.
Right. He didn't marry. Like, he did all this shit and he didn't even try to marry the
He's getting the perks of marriage without the commitment. That's just what it is. You want to be this you want to damsel in distress, save this one, save that one. Okay, that's fine. But with that also comes some repercussions. Because when you're married to somebody and you take a full obligation to do that, a lot of that stuff, you can say, okay, well, I did this because I'm married. This is the mom, blah, 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 whatever.
So your stance is like he should have been married. Then if he was married, he would have more say. Is that your stance on this whole situation?
I wouldn't say he would. So that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say. But because he would be married and she was raised in his household, I feel like if he's footing stuff, I don't know. That's kind of hard because at the end of the day,
I got a question for you.
Can I finish what I was saying though?
My bad.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, she has a biological father, and yes, there probably was some type of relationship. So a conversation probably was had with him, like, look, this is what I want to do. He probably just didn't think she was going to stay true to what she said. Right. And because she did, he embarrassed her because he felt as though you're embarrassing me, I'm embarrassing you. So it's more of a tit for tat thing versus like, let's kind of like hash this out behind closed doors instead of in front of people. Do I feel as though she should have walked with this man down the aisle? No, there is no obligation to him. There's none. At the end of the day, you were just a boyfriend living in my mother's. Well, we were living in your house. That's all you were. You can say all that. Oh, I took care of you. Took care of it. Yeah, but you didn't have to. Like, there was no obligation to do all that. And if I decided that my dad's gonna be here instead of you, I mean, it is what it is. What obligations do I have you? I have none.
But you keep bringing up marriage. So the question that I asked you, you still ain't answer it.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
The question is, do you think that if he was married to the mother,
right, that
he would have more of an obligation to walk down the aisle with the stepdaughter?
I don't think he have an obligation. At the end of the day, it's still gonna be whatever she wants to do. But as in the my money thing, it would be different conversation because you're married. It's no longer my money. It's now our money. This is something we're doing together. So now it's coming out of both of our situation because we're one. You're two different people. You didn't have to do that. You could have very well been like, nah, this is my money.
Even if they was married, you wouldn't have to do that. Like, if he was
technically
married,
that's not her daughter.
If he was married to the mom,
he didn't do that.
Like, he didn't have to pay for her college.
He didn't have to do
He didn't
that.
have to pay for her car. He didn't have to volunteer to pay for her wedding.
Anything.
But he did all that because I feel like he was boasting. He was trying to stunt on a biological father. Yeah. And at the end, he got played because she still wanted her father to walk her down the aisle. Yeah. And she wanted to dance with her father. She had the song that her father, like the songs that her father likes, because she wanted to honor her dad. And that's when he got mad. He got so mad that he called off everything in the middle of the wedding. He called off everything. Basically, he kicked people out of his house because he said that was the end. And he broke up with the mom over this.
So my question is to you: would it have been okay if she decided, you know what, my dad really hasn't been that actively involved in my life. He really wasn't here. He really didn't help my growth of me being a young woman, and I really don't want my dad in here. I want my mom's boyfriend here. Would she have been wrong for that?
Would she have been wrong?
Would she have been wrong for that?
So no, she wouldn't have been wrong for that because it's her wedding, is what she wanted to do. I just know from my perspective and how I feel about the whole thing. If my daughter was to invite me to her wedding and then have me sit there and not walk her down the aisle, I personally wouldn't do. I personally wouldn't want to be there because no matter how the situation was, I feel like it's a lot of maturity on both ends between me and the mom that we need to hash out, and it wasn't all my fault of why I'm not in her life. So it's like, if you're gonna invite me to your wedding and not have me walk you down the aisle when I'm your biological father, I'm not gonna sit there and be humiliated in front of multiple people, in front of all these people. I'm not gonna do that.
But isn't that kind of...
hopefully she will understand where I'm coming from with that.
But isn't that kind of the different type of shoe on the same feet? Because he's saying that he's taken care of this girl. Like, he's done everything he had to do. He was supportively there. He paid for her college. And now it's the person that may not have actively been there. It's the reverse. It's basically reversed. So the person that really wasn't actively there, she's gonna throw them in the wedding, versus the person that was there supportively. It's kind of the same thing. You're embarrassed either way.
So I don't think it's the same thing. And I'm gonna explain myself. So I don't think it's the same thing because he is leading with money. He is volunteering to pay for all this stuff, and he got mad because of the biological father being in there. And now you're talking about my situation being similar. It's not similar because we didn't say that I was paying for the wedding. Now, if I paid for the wedding and then I got mad that I didn't walk her down the aisle, that'd be like the same thing.
No, what I'm saying is, what if the guy that's walking her down the aisle paid for everything? She just wants you there because you just had something to do with her being here on Earth, so she wants to have you there. I mean, he did everything. In her eyes, he did everything that she felt Dad should do, or whatever the case may be. So you may be feeling embarrassed, but in her eyes, it's not an embarrassment because she feels as though this is the person that has been here. This is the person to support me. I'm just inviting my dad because, again, he got me here. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a controversial topic, and you know, like, I pray that I never have to deal with a situation like that. You know, to be completely honest, because that'd be very hard. I'm pretty sure on both parties. But let's just say, like, if I'm getting invited to a wedding, then obviously I must have been in my daughter's life for a period of time for her to feel comfortable. She's not just gonna see me for 1 month, like the month before she getting married, and be like, "Oh, would you come to my wedding?" Like, so let's just say that is the case, right? Let's just say that is the case, and I'm going to sound like I'm backtracking a little bit. Let's just say that me and my daughter rekindle our relationship a month before she gets married. In that situation, and she asks me to come to the wedding, I will come, right? But what the guy was talking about, he said in a video that the father been in the picture, but even though he'd been in the picture, he wasn't supportive of her monetarily. He wasn't saying that the guy just showed up. He was just saying that he wasn't there monetary wise, financially. So he was still in the picture. See, me, like, if I was in the picture, but I just didn't have the money to do that, but I was still there, like, being a father, and then, like, you invited me to your wedding, and you had, like, your stepfather there the whole time, and you didn't recognize me as your biological father, I would be pissed. And I feel like I have the right to be pissed because I'm your biological father. Now, he feels like he feel like he has the right to be pissed because he paid for everything, but he's not the biological father. Mm-hmm. He's not. Even though that you paying for everything, then that's your prerogative. Mm-hmm. You didn't marry the mom, one. Mm-hmm. Even if you did, like he didn't marry the mom, but like I personally don't feel like you need to be married in that situation, and it'll still be wrong, no matter if you're married or you're not married. That's what I'm saying.
You have no obligation when you're not married.
It's still wrong in my eyes.
I mean, I just feel as though there's no obligation. Like, yeah, if you're not married, there's still no obligations. But when you're married, it's different. You can speak from, oh, this is our situation. We are in this together. It's different. When you are not married, you can walk out and leave if you want to. Take all your stuff and just be like, go about your business. Marriage is not like that. It's a different bond. You have to break an actual contract to move forward with your life.
Yeah.
I just feel like the situation, I agree. I believe that it was probably a boasting situation to show what everything I did over the years. Look what I did to make this woman who she is. I believe that's what that was. And a lot of times at weddings, that's when people's time is like, oh, I was influential in this and I saw them go through this and I saw this. So he just wanted that probably acknowledgement.
Right.
I get it. I just don't feel as though that was, I agree with you. I just don't feel like that was the right time to do it.
Right.
I feel as though that was her time and her wedding, and he didn't have to announce that at the dinner. He could have very well, maybe they had I don't even know. Maybe they had conversations. Maybe he just didn't receive the conversations that were being said.
Right. He was butthurt about the whole thing.
He could have been like, I don't want you to do all that. I've been doing this. How dare you? It could have been a whole big thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe they really didn't talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel as though at that time where all her family is there, you don't need to announce that to the family. You can very well, before this is even set out, like, listen, if I'm not included in this, and this, I'm not paying for this wedding. That's it. You really don't owe her anything.
Right. Like
at this point,
he assumed that if he paid for everything, that his love or his financial love or his financial, I don't know,
volunteer or whatever.
Yeah, however you want to put it. He felt like his money
don't take care of everything.
The love she had for her father. And that's where he was mistaken.
I don't even know if it's about trumping the love.
No, that's how I'm saying
how
he
it.
Felt that way. He felt that his money will trump the love of the father.
I don't know. I don't know their relationship. I don't know the daughter. And the reason why I can speak on that is because me and my dad were not always at a good place. At one point in my life, I didn't want my dad at my wedding.
Right.
I didn't. Because I didn't know him. As I started to get to know him, am I going to say within a month, I was like, oh, he should come to my wedding? No, I was not like that.
Right.
But I had to be in a relationship with my father and understand who he was, what happened, what was going on.
Exactly.
And so it's a different place. So my dad will walk me down the aisle.
Exactly.
For a very long time, the other side of my family told me, no, your dad shouldn't walk you down the aisle. He didn't raise you. He didn't have any support with you. He had nothing, this, and the other. But I had to know what really happened between my dad and my mom.
Right.
So when I figured that out and I knew that and I got to know him for who he is,
exactly,
it changed my whole idea. Now with her, maybe she did have a relationship. God knows, maybe he was on drugs. Maybe he was in the streets. Maybe who knows what was really going on. And he could not be there for her
financially. The biological
maybe
father.
even emotionally, maybe even there physically. Who knows? Because he really doesn't go deeper into that. He just says...
She said that the daughter adores her father. That's all he said, really.
Right, because you don't know what the relationship was. Mm-hmm. You don't know if they've been cool since high school, if he's been in and out her life, if he made her promises and broke them. I think he said that. Like, you don't know what the relationship was. She may just be on a place of, okay, this is my dad. I'm just going to have him come here. Right. It's only right. Or it could be the same thing that I went through when I with my dad, where the other side of the family is saying you need only right that your dad walk with you. You don't know.
Right.
Like the finance part of it, I feel as though he's wrong for getting on social media and blasting it and saying this is how much money and this is what I'm doing.
And kicking the mother and the daughter out his house.
I think that was wrong.
Fucking up her wedding.
I think that was wrong.
There.
But as in the relationship and what was going on with the background of it, I have no idea. I could only jump off of what I've seen, and I can only speak from my own experiences.
Right.
Because if it was me, my situation changed dramatically. You know, I have a relationship with my father, you know, all the other stuff. So it's different. Now, if I didn't have a relationship with my dad, or me and my dad were at odds, you probably couldn't tell me. I probably wouldn't. Like, but it all depends on how I feel. If I'm at a place where I just don't feel like he should be there, then he shouldn't be there. That's just what it is. So, I don't feel that now. Just to make that clear.
I know.
But
and I'm pretty sure people that's watching this understand.
I adore my father. I love my father with all of me. Like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for Kenneth Hall. But it's different when you're going through what you're going through. Like I said, I don't know the relationship, but I agree with you financially. He was wrong for what he did. He was wrong for thinking that, oh, well, I bought all this stuff for you. You owe me. But I think that's the mentality of a lot of people. They feel as though, well, I bought you a car, so what you gonna do for me?
That's just like, so analogy to throw out there. He did buy her a car, right? So the analogy is like, okay, I'm buying you this car, but you can only make right-hand turns with it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'm buying you this car, but you can only go from point A to point B and then come right back.
Yeah, and then
why buy the car if you dictating where she can drive?
I mean, at the end of the day,
Why pay for the wedding if you dictating what she can and cannot do at her wedding? I mean, I think that's absurd.
I mean, I just feel like it's absurd. You're just playing house, and you want the benefits of just playing house.
You worried about the marriage part of it.
I mean, I am, because I feel like at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. Like, you with a woman for 10 plus years. This woman's probably used to you giving. So now you decided, like, I'm gonna do the ultimate. I've been taking care of her for God knows how long financially. You didn't have to do that. You did not owe her that.
Right.
People may think I'm wrong for that, or feel like, oh, well, when you're dating someone with children, let me tell you something. When you're dating with someone with children,
people will, you're right.
You're gonna have issues with that. When you're dating someone with children, you can show them, hey, this is what I can do. But it doesn't mean you step in being daddy. It doesn't mean you step in, because you don't have obligations. You're trying to get to the woman. Yes, the woman and the child are connected. I understand that, because do not go off on all this. I get all that. But realistically, he does not owe anything. He did not have that child. That is not his blood child. He's doing this out of the kindness of who he is, as well as because he's trying to get to know you. He does not have to pay for daycare. He doesn't have to pay for little Jimmy to go here, there, or wherever. That's not his obligation.
Right.
That's not his kid. The obligation goes to the parents, the two people that decided to have this child, which is the two people that are not currently in that situation. So that's where the obligation comes from.
Right.
Now, if he couldn't do it, or whatever the case may be, maybe that was a conversation, I don't know. But it's funny when you start playing a position that you don't need to be in. Right. That's what I feel as though you're playing a position you need to be in. You shouldn't be doing that already, because now what happens is stuff like this happens. So now it's touch and feel, because he doesn't owe you anything, so he can kick you out of his house. Why? Because you don't. You.
Oh, you talking about the mother?
Yeah, I'm talking about the mother and the daughter.
Yeah.
He could kick you out of the house because y'all been living there.
Nah, but I
don't think he's right, but I'm saying he can do it.
Oh, okay.
He can do that
from the mother's perspective, and I'm gonna try to,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to like empathize with the mother, right? So the mother meet this man, right? She probably was, she had a daughter on her own,
right?
And being a single mother is probably very, very hard out there.
Right.
Me and you have a hard time raising our kid, and we together. I mean, we have difficulties with that sometimes. So let's imagine if you were just doing it by yourself. That'd be a lot of pressure.
Right.
So she meet this man that got a little bit of money that's that can take care, that can provide for herself and her daughter. So she get with him. She trusted him. He
probably told her that too. I'll take care of your daughter.
I'll take care of you. So she probably trusted him. She trusted him to bring her daughter, and that's crazy, to bring her to introduce your daughter to a man. That takes a lot of trust on the mother part.
Yeah, I agree.
The mother trusted him with taking care of herself and the daughter. Yeah. Right? So for him to out of the blue get mad because he took care of them for so long, but now he wants to be the person that the daughter admires because he did that. I mean, look. He can be upset about it.
Okay.
But as a man, I feel like certain things you gotta hold in. As a man, there's certain things you can't say, especially at a event like a wedding. If you wanted to say something, wait till after the wedding. Maybe say your gripes then, but don't mess up a once in a lifetime event. You paid all this money for it, and then you pay. It's your money, so you paid all this money just to fuck it up. Like, why would you do that, bro?
No, I
and
agree.
then to kick out the mom and the daughter after everything that just happened. You just ruined this girl. You just ruined this girl fucking wedding. Like in her life, basically. Like she will always remember, like on her wedding day, this happened. Yeah, and that's I disagree with him completely for that.
Yeah, well, he did all that because 10 plus years, he probably was tired. Is he right? No, he's not right. I'm not saying he's right at all. I'm not saying he's right, but I'm just saying he's probably at that point where he's like, I'm getting no credit of nothing. I'm tired at this point. And he was wrong for what he did. He was wrong for turning on the camera and recording himself. He was wrong for getting to social media to kind of get, co-signing. Because people were going in on him. They were saying, they were just correcting him what he was saying. And, they were just saying, like, yeah, you made a great, stepdad, decision to treat her this way on your wedding day, stuff like that. And then they educated him on certain things. Like I said, you didn't marry this woman, so technically there was no obligation. That is not your stepdaughter. That is just your girlfriend's child. Like that's exactly what it is.
God, all blessings to stepfathers out there. Me personally, I can't be a stepfather. I cannot. Like I know a lot of people that are stepfathers. I was raised by my steppops. Allah bless the dead for him. He definitely was he definitely played a major role in my life, and I thank him for that. But the reason why I can't be a stepfather is not because, the notions of being a stepfather or the title of being a stepfather. It's just that I don't have all my kids in my own household. You get what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I can't. That's the only reason why I can't be a stepfather. If I ain't had no kids,
no.
I don't know, man.
Because you had to deal with another man.
Yeah, like I don't like. So yeah, I don't like having to deal with another man. Like I feel like once you have a kid by a man, and the love that you have for me is just. It's just like if you're a celebrity, right? And you become a celebrity and you were single the whole entire time until you got mad money. And then once you get money, you meet somebody, a bad chick or whatever, and you get with her. It's kind of hard to think in your head like, hey, is she with me just for my money or is she with me because she really loved me? You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of the same way as me getting with a girl that got a kid already. In the back of my mind, I think like, yo, is she with me just because she loved me, or is she with me because she sees me as a provider for her and her kid because she didn't work out? It didn't work out with her baby father. Obviously, she only with me because it didn't work out with her baby father. Because who wants to be, who wants to have a kid with somebody and not be with them? Like in my head, I can't fathom that. It may be people out there that can fathom that, but me, I can't. I just can't.
Yeah. When I was dating, except for you,
I know.
I would not deal with men that had children, and if I did, it didn't last long.
Right.
One, because I don't like women, and they can be very catty, including if they're still trying to be with you.
Yeah.
Including if they're trying to use children as lead, like bait. I don't have time for that drama. I didn't have the brain power for it. And I didn't deserve it. So I would not tolerate it. There was probably like maybe two guys I dealt with in my dating history that had children. And it did not last long. Because my biggest thing is I can't trust you because I don't know what your real relationship with your baby mom is.
Right.
You can tell me something and be something totally different. I can't I just can't do it. So I wasn't made for that.
Was it like certain events that happened that made you feel that way? Because when you got with them, you knew that they had. Well, when you was talking to them, you knew that they had kids, and then was an event that led to you to
absolutely.
Be like that? Okay.
There was a young man I was dating, and he had a son, right. And I remember a time I pulled up at his house, and his baby mom was there, and I don't get along with girls. I never did growing up. It's always been like an issue. Jealousy, you want my man, you think you stuck on yourself, all kinds of stuff. But so this young lady was at his house or whatever, and she just didn't like me, I guess, because I was talking to him or whatever. But I could never kind of shake that feeling. There was something about it. And then every time I called him after that point, he was either at her house or she was over there, and he explained they had this great relationship, how they were friends, and that was this. And I'm like, just can't trust it.
Flags.
Can't trust it. Because if you're over there more than you are with me, your new situation, then there's a problem. Now, women can always get on here and say, oh, well, he had a child with her. Yeah, that situation is over now.
And be
so the conversation should be, I'm dropping Johnny here, you pick him up here, and that is it. Nothing else needs to be done. If y'all trying to make it work and you want to be a family and you want to this whole dynamic, then I can see you hanging out and doing all that other stuff. Then I don't need him in the picture. Right. Because you need to be working on your family, not me. Right. That's just how I feel. Certain strings need to be cut. Right. And if they're not cut, this is, again, my personal opinion. If they're not cut, I can't deal with you. Right. Because I'm not going to deal with someone knocking on my door in the middle of the night looking for him, or calling my phone, or, he can't talk to me now because he's over there with her, and breaking his phone because you're doing... Listen, I've never been that person. I can find somebody else who I can tolerate. Right. They ain't got no kids. So, and at that time... people have to understand I didn't have any children. I had no kids. So I'm dealing with someone with children. That's an obligation that I don't need to take on, to be honest with you, because I didn't have any kids. Yeah. So I did not like dealing with men that did have children. Was it a deal breaker? I wouldn't say that, but I would always ask, what is your relationship with your baby mom? And I would see how you would squirm in your seat, or what you would say to tell me exactly what it is. I look at body language. I'm not going to listen to what you say to me. Right. Because you can lie to me dead in my face, but your body's telling me, like, this is uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, that means she living in your house, or, she got the key to your house, or whatever the case may be. So
to me, I feel like the only time that, and I could be completely wrong on this, the only time that it can be cordial between a baby mom and a baby father is that if both of them are happily with somebody else, if they both have partners. If one of the people in that party is single, it's going to be some drama.
I agree.
It's going to be some fucking drama.
I agree.
Either the woman is going to be catty, she's going to be doing certain things, she's going to be, you know what I mean.
She got something to say about the woman you with.
Say about, don't have my daughter this way, or don't have my son this way, this, that, and the third.
I don't want you around us. We trying to do a family thing.
Right. She gonna be trying to be sneaky, or the dude gonna be trying to just be, you know what I mean,
extra masculine,
extra masculine, trying to fight dude, right, or whatever. You know what I mean. And me, when I was out there, even though I had kids, I wasn't trying to deal with none of that stuff. Right. I wasn't trying to deal with that. So like you,
that's why I talked to you.
Right.
I asked you direct questions.
Yeah, on the first
about
date,
relationships
on the first
and
date,
what
and
you
we
wanted.
spoke about that, and I had to be honest with you.
Because people be like, then why did you get? That's why I decided to stay and get married to him, because it was a different. And sorry to cut you off, babe.
No, it's fine.
But you showed me something different. Okay, so quick 1-2 story. Okay. When my husband, because he's my husband now, when my husband had to go see his daughter, he never skipped a beat. He always called me when he was leaving. He called me when he was on his way. He called me in the middle. He texts me sometimes to let me know, hey, this is what we got going on. I will hit you up. It was never a silent or dead silent time. So he didn't give me room to imagination that, oh, he's sleeping with her, or, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. And you always told me, like, babe, this is what happened. This is what we did. And I believed you because you didn't give me a reason not to.
Right.
If you were hit and miss with calls, or you weren't picking up the phone when I called, or, you know, it went a day, you disappeared for a day. That's a very known thing. That happens.
Right.
You disappeared for a day. I don't hear from you until like 10 o'clock the next day. That would have flagged me already. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, he's spending time with his daughter or his child. Yes, you could. Let me tell you something. You can spend time all the time in your world with your children. I didn't ask for my husband to be on the phone with me 24 hours a day while he was spending time with his daughter. No. I just told him to check in. Because again, if you leave room for the imagination to me, I'm going to run with it. Right. And you can't fix it. Because anything you say to me is going to be a lie. Because you gave me room. Yeah. But if you didn't give me any room, what am I making up? Nothing.
Nah, so I just, you know, when we got together, I just respected you.
Yes.
You know, you just showed, you showed so much respect for yourself. Correct. That I felt obligated to show you the same
That's
respect.
It.
So
that's it, ladies.
Yeah. So like when I was there with my daughter at the time, I was just so amazed and so happy that I was with her.
Correct.
So, you know, I was just like, yo, we playing Play-Doh. You
right.
know, this, that, and the third. Like, yo, this is mad cool. Oh, like we play Monopoly. She's so smart.
And then when I respond back, babe, you enjoy time with your daughter. Hit me when you're leaving.
Yeah. But it's just like it wasn't like I wasn't. So I don't want people to think that, you know, I was, you know, texting you.
No. You
know what I mean? While I was with my daughter. No. But it was just like, okay, like
check-ins.
It was just like, yo, this. I'm not about to this. You know, go mad. Like, I'm not even. I know I'm with my daughter. Mm-hmm. But if I'm with my daughter for like 5, like I was usually there for like 5 or so hours. Yeah. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like spending the whole day with her sometimes. Mm-hmm. If I'm there for 5 hours, I mean, I can take 2 minutes to text you.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just a short text. Yep. I wasn't expecting you to say anything back. It was just like, yo, this is what's going on. Yep. Because I didn't want you to think that anything
something was going on, right?
Because like I kept it honest with you. I'm just like, yeah, like, you know, just that and the third, boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that's why I say it. When you're dealing with someone with children, including men dealing with women with children. You have to see what they show you, not what they're telling you. Mm-hmm. Because I hate to be that person, but the person can tell you whatever they want to tell you.
Right.
But if your actions are showing something different, then your actions are showing something different.
Right.
If you don't want someone to flip out on you because you went ghost on somebody, don't go ghost. That's it. If you're going to be with your kid's birthday, it's all day. Okay, cool. Hey, babe, I'm here. Just letting you know everyone arrived. I'm going to hit you in a little bit. Boom. Halfway through, hey, just let you know this what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. And then when you leave, hey, let me tell you what happened. Blah, blah. Give that respect, because what happens is if you let things linger and continue to go on, you're leaving room and opportunity for imagination. Yeah. Imagination can destroy a relationship. It can destroy a person. If you give that imagination, I'm telling you right now, it will not work out. Because now that little imagination that you thought was nothing has escalated throughout the relationship. Now anything you do.
But is it really imagination? When you say imagination, I feel like you downplaying your intuition.
Okay, you're right. I am.
Because I would say that it's intuition, baby.
Yeah, you're
because
right.
it's like me. Like I have I dealt with women that had kids before, but I never was in a relationship with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're just like.
Right.
I just ain't have time because like I had 2 kids that wasn't in my household, and I'd be damned if I'm going to take care of another person's kids, and I'm not. If my biological kids is not in my household, I wasn't beat.
Right.
So that was one thing. But number 2 is just like I wasn't trying to deal with you like that.
Mm-hmm. Like, right. Something not like that.
I wasn't trying to like. I don't know. I just watched a lot of stepdads out there, and a lot of them get the shitty end of the stick. A lot of them get the women that's been beaten, battered, and bruised, and they come in and they try to be, you know what I mean, the savior for that person. Like like a lot of men aren't, but I'm just saying, like, in my environment when I was growing up, that's what I saw with certain stepdads out there. Not all stepdads, but certain stepdads out there. And when you go through certain things, you see certain things. You some things that you say in your head, oh, I'm gonna be like that person. And other times you'd be like, oh, I would never be like that person. And for me, I never wanted to be that person at all. So yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I think that's why it's key that we teach our future key things too. You know, we don't want a situation like that to continue to happen. So you stop a lot of cycles from that happening.
Right.
You can't shield them from everything, but you can also stop a cycle. If they see something, you just said, growing up, you saw things.
I saw things.
So that already put something in your head because you saw it. Children need to have a different narrative to see. If you don't give them another narrative, they will be another cycle.
Right.
And that has always been something I have stood on. Because when I did decide to have children, I said, there's going to be somebody who wants to be with me. Someone who's not here to just be a baby father, because I don't have time for that. That was not even my thing. I was like, and someone who has himself together, has the same morals as me, and the list goes on and on and on,
right.
but also wants to be a father. Like, we're not going to do this playing house thing for 15 years, and you think I'm going to sit. I'm not raising my kids in an environment like that. We all have went through the single household, the single parent. I'm not doing all that. That's not where I'm at. And if I can't be, if you don't have that mentality, then I don't need to be laying down with you. Period. That's my mentality. Because that's why for so long I didn't have kids. Because I'm like, I'm not about to lay down with somebody and have children with this person. If they don't have the same morals as me, they're okay being a baby father with 5 kids and in and out their life. I'm not about to risk myself with somebody who can't even risk their own past to be a better future. Like, I'm not about to do that.
Right.
So I decided that I was like, all right, well, God, by 35, if the person don't come into my life, we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it worked out.
Yeah, it definitely did. Definitely did.
Because you did want and still do want family and legacy, and you're not about this whole playing, like I call it double dutch, when you're like in and out, in and out, in and out. It's not like that.
Well, for me, like, I always valued family, and I always looked at things differently than a lot of the peers did when I was growing up.
Right.
I knew that I would die to try to be in a position that I'm at right now. And now that I'm in this position, I'm trying even harder to get to a higher level.
Yep.
And I needed somebody, and I wanted somebody that would be able to fulfill the needs that I desired. One, you needed to be sexy. Two,
well, okay, thank
exactly. One, you needed to be sexy. Two, you needed to be intelligent. And 3, you needed to understand the plan.
Right.
And if I met a person that did those 3 simple things, then I would be like, as long as they stayed down to those 3 simple things, then I would stay down for them. And I met that in you.
Yeah.
I met all that with you.
Yay.
You gotta be serious.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Fucking goofy.
I'm not, but I appreciate it. No, because I do. A lot of people just don't know. Like, I have. We both came from households that didn't have marriage.
No,
they didn't understand what marriage was. And I know for me, I was determined to be married. Like, but I wasn't gonna be married to just anybody.
Right.
So I didn't have the idea of marriage. My mom was not married at the time. She is now. My dad was married at the time, but they just weren't good examples. Let's put it that way at that time.
Yeah.
At that time. So I needed to kind of build a blueprint myself. A lot of the stuff that I've learned, I learned from books, to be honest with you. I've learned from people in life, sitting down with people that have been together for years, talking to them like, what makes y'all stay together? And that kind of made me build this blueprint of like, okay, this is how I would like our marriage to be when I do get married and whatever. And on top of that, I had a very strong, and still do, strong believing in God. So the dynamic of marriage is already, it's a blueprint in the Bible and how it should go about all of the stuff. Quran too, the Torah too, all that stuff. If you don't want to stick to the Bible, because a lot of people, get funny with that. But there is, I call it manuals of how certain things should be lined up. So I took all that stuff and I kind of threw it into a bowl and I mixed it up and baked a cake. And then I was like, okay, if whoever sits down and eats this cake, either they're gonna like this flavor or they're not. And there were some people who didn't.
I ate the cake.
You sure did. You ate the whole cake. So
I still eat the cake.
Can you not? So
The cake is tasty.
Jesus Christ. This is why I'm currently pregnant. So
Oh, shout that out there.
yeah, there's gonna be months where they see it. So
Yeah, right.
by that time, Lord, everyone's gonna know. So a lot of times you have to, when you're sitting down looking for a spouse, and it's why are you laughing?
Because I'm remixing Katy Perry in my head. I don't know why.
What?
Because you know
how many things of champagne have you had?
No, this is one cup.
Oh,
Now you know how she sung the song like I kissed the girl when I liked it. I ate the cake.
Can you not? Okay, so going back to what I was saying, one of my girlfriends, I sit down with her now, and everybody, a lot of my friends obviously are single, right?
Yeah.
Two of my friends, I only have two friends, but I have a couple of friends, but whatever. So 2 friends that I talk to on a regular.
You don't have no friends.
I really don't.
We Virgos.
Yeah, I
We
really
have
don't.
fucking friends.
2 of my friends I sit down with. One of my friends she's currently dating, and not saying, because this is gonna be another thing. I'm not saying I'm a guru of relationships. We're the guru. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying my relationship is this, blueprint of what life should be. I am not saying that. I'm putting that out here.
Sauce in Mexico.
Child, relationships are work, and I say it to everybody.
Right.
But my one best friend came to me, and she's telling me about this guy she met, and at first he did not seem like he was a good deal. And I told her, until he gets himself together, you don't need to be focused on him. And she was just like, I just don't want to be single. I was like, you're not going to be single for the rest of life, but you also have to have somebody who's going to match you. If this person is not matching you and he's disappearing and he's acting funny and he's doing this, either he going to shape right, or he going to ship out. That's it. Yeah. And it took months, but he finally did. Came back to her. Changed man in therapy, asking her questions she's not even ready for, really a stand-up guy, really just changed completely. And she called me, she's like, oh my gosh, he changed. And I was like, the thing is, it's great, that he's emotionally intelligent, he's connecting some dots, but are you ready for that? Because sometimes we as women, we ask for certain things and we're really not ready for that. And I asked her that. I said, when he's asking these questions, how do you feel? She's like, I feel uncomfortable. I said, you know why? Because he's helping you heal from your traumas. When you have a partner, a real partner, y'all both coming in traumatically broken. We're all coming from all angles of life. No one's walking in this life perfect. That doesn't exist. When you're both bringing your baggage, it's whether or not that one person is dumping all their baggage on you and you just trying to put it all in your bag, or you both dumping it together and you're sorting it out. That's what you need that's the partner you need. The partner is going to help you sort, not just sit there like, well, I ain't cleaning it up and walking away. Because realistically, we all traumatically have been passed down something. And when you get with somebody, that comes out more than ever. And I tell women when I talk to them, I said the person needs to bring out the good trauma lessons from you. There's a difference. Not triggering you to lose your mind, but bringing some things out that may feel uncomfortable for you to talk about because they want to kind of get deeper to who you are.
But so I don't think that your spouse should bring traumatic events out of you.
No, they shouldn't bring trauma events out of you, but they should bring out, trauma has to come out one way. Either it's going to come out as you acting out of it, or it's going to come out you speaking and healing from it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying because when you get with somebody, I mean, you got to sit down and you got to have intimate conversations with them. And sometimes these conversations can be uncomfortable.
Correct.
And sometimes you got to be vulnerable, no matter if you're a male or a female. You have to be vulnerable in these conversations. That's how you go to a higher understanding in a relationship. And for a very long time, I myself was not one that wanted to go down that road. I did not want to expose myself. It was a lot of hurt, a lot of trauma that I tucked in, and I did not expose to anybody at all.
Yep.
And when it finally came out, I was reluctant to it. It pissed me off because I don't like to feel vulnerable for no other reason. But after all is said and done and those wounds is healed up, I do feel stronger.
You're a better person.
Yeah, and I do feel like I'm a better person.
It doesn't weigh you down anymore.
I'm calmer now.
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
less angry.
You
know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't understand. We are so used to adapting to trauma. Right. So we adapt to live. That's not a good way to live, because your adaptation is just for that moment. Eventually that trauma's coming out. Eventually you're going to be doing something and someone's going to have you snap. I saw a quote, and at first I was so mad at this quote. And the quote said, "You can't blame me for you being triggered." And at first I was like, that's not true, because you need to be mindful. How? If I'm a person coming to you and you are triggered by something, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem.
Right.
So it's my position to explain to you, like, hey, this is what triggers me. Oh, now I'm aware that triggers you to go back to that place that you had with A, B, and C. Okay, I'm going to stay away from that. That is somebody really working with you. Now, a person that takes that and pokes at it and keeps using it against you, they don't want to heal with you. They want to use you to their fullest advantage. It's called manipulation. So they can manipulate you to get you to a bad place so that they can control you. That's just what that is. Right. Very narcissistic. So people have to understand that's the difference between the two. Because people always say, oh, well, he had trauma and I have trauma and we bad for each other. Well, how? Because we both have trauma. How are y'all dealing with it? Are y'all dealing with it? No, we just don't talk about it. Then you're never going to get anywhere. You guys will always be at fault. You'll never work out. Because it is your responsibility as a person to deal with your own trauma. It is. But sometimes you don't realize things are pulling from your childhood unless somebody brings that out. And if that person brings it, it should be like, you know what? This doesn't take me to a bad place. Why am I here? Why am I at this place? What happened? And it has to go back to that place. And that's why I always tell people therapy is key. I tell people don't like it. They get stupid. But it brings out a lot of stuff that we don't want to deal with.
So I went to therapy, and I don't think that it helped.
You got to be ready to receive therapy.
I don't think that it helped.
You got to, I'm going to say it again. You got to be ready to receive it, because as people, we don't receive it correctly.
I'm not saying that it won't help for nobody else, but I just feel like it did not help.
It did help you, because there was there was things that were brought to your attention that you didn't realize. So that is a lie. You're just saying that because you feel as though, again, this narrative of people make you tell you that therapy does not work.
So I bet you I can change your mind.
I'm still going to feel how I feel.
No, you want to know? No,
What? Go ahead.
I'm about to change your mind right now. When I went to a professional therapist, that did not help me. I did not change. When I went to your father, and your father spoke to me about certain things, and me knowing your father's story, that helped. So me speaking to a person that I did not know their story, I did not know where they was coming from, I did not know anything about them. It was just like they said the same generic shit that they always said. But a person that was in our village that took the time to explain certain things to me, and I was able to get certain things off my chest, I think that it helped me and it helped you. So,
one, I'm going to say I appreciate the fact that you feel as though my dad is a good place to talk to, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. But two, I'm going to call you on your bluff. And the reason why I'm going to call you on your bluff.
I'm not bluffing, sweetheart.
No, I'm going to tell you, because I have text message to prove.
That's a trigger fucking word.
Okay, well.
If I text you that, I was probably just trying to smash.
Well, then that means you're lying.
Yeah, it did not like.
So that means you're lying to me. So then that's another different situation that you did. No, I can't. You can't do that. The thing about it is, that is the biggest problem of contraception of black people right here. Is you will say it doesn't work. You'll tell somebody it does. Your stuff will change according to what you've been told because your mind has been renewed. But then you'll flip it and say it doesn't work. You can't be that person. You're wishy-washy. And the problem I have with that is because this is how our people are. We will not reach help, but we'll go to our best friend who who can relate to.
Can I intervene?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I understand what you're saying. Right. And in a way, it did, like talking about it to another person, I think it was putting a Band-Aid on a situation. I don't think that it was the be-all, end-all type of thing because after those sessions, we still got into bad arguments.
But it wasn't about that situation you went to therapy for.
Huh?
It wasn't about that situation with the therapy for, honey. You're kind of deflecting, and that kind of it irritates me because.
Why is it irritating? Why? See, you just talking about being triggered. So is your
no, I'm not. I'm not being triggered. I'm not being triggered. But no, but I feel as though you're sitting here and you're making this depiction that is not true, and I have to call you on it because at the end of the day. You told me something, so that means you lied to my face and told me something to get what you wanted. That's a manipulation thing. That's a whole different situation. And if that's the case, then a lot of things you say to me, I got to be mindful. Stop. I got to be mindful of it because that means you'll say something just to get something over. And if that's the case,
that's the narcissistic thing.
Yeah, but that's not a good way to be.
No, babe. Like, obviously. I didn't think you was gonna get triggered by that, but
I'm not triggered.
I just try to trigger you because you triggered me. Like
I'm not triggered. Tiffany's not triggered.
You're a little triggered.
I'm not triggered. I said the words that I use. I would have told you if I was triggered because me being triggered is totally different than me explaining and calling you on something. Okay. That's two different things.
All right, so you calling me on my shit. Okay, so you called me on my shit. So let's say therapy did help, all right? I don't want to argue with you, so therapy helped, all right? Whatever. But I just feel that, like me personally, I just feel like the conversation that I had with your father was more meaningful than any person, talking to, when it comes down to our relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So I have... That's where I'm getting confused. All right. So when it comes down to my own personal issues, mm-hmm. therapy worked for me, mm-hmm. right? But when it came down to the issues that I had with you, therapy did not work.
Well, because we had couples therapy with my dad and his wife. It's a difference.
So I consider that therapy mm-hmm. or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, it's therapy.
Yeah, so...
Counseling session.
A counselor. So let's keep it counseling, right? So when I had a counseling session, because I did seek therapy on my own, mm-hmm. right, from my own traumas that I had, mm-hmm. From the military and then coming out of the military, and, seeking counselors, and you suggested certain counselors to me mm-hmm. for my own personal issues. Whenever I had to deal with my own personal issues, then the counselors worked. Mm-hmm. Right, but when I was trying to speak upon issues that I had in a relationship between me and you, mm-hmm. I felt like they did not work,
which is understandable.
I felt like the conversation that I had with somebody that was genuine and honest with us, which was your dad and Poe, mm-hmm. that I felt like that conversation. And the insights and love and everything that they gave to us, I felt like that was the end all be all. I felt like whenever I get angry, we just got angry the other night.
Oh, yesterday?
Yesterday. I don't even remember what it was.
I wasn't even angry. I was
quick.
just...
It was so quick.
That's because I don't allow it to escalate anymore.
But you're not the only one.
No, you're not. But you got a little. Let's not do.
And you did too.
I said my piece, and I said this is what I'm doing.
Listen, we both let's just be honest. We both got a little heated.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You get what I'm saying? Why you gotta roll your eyes? You gotta do all this shit.
I'm not rolling my eyes.
Do all this extra shit, and it's pissing me off. Already, see, I'm
How
trying to give
did-
kudos. You pissing me off.
Go ahead.
Nah, so we both got a little heated, but the second that we got heated, we both backed off.
Yep. You gotta pick your battles.
You was like, hey.
I was like, run this back, because
Run this back. And,
I ain't about to do this with you.
and like me,
This is-
back in the day, if you would have said that, I would have been like, who the fuck does she think she's? I say when this shit done. But I was just like, she's right, Lamont. Let me just, I just shut the fuck up and I'll listen.
It's not worth a fight.
It's not worth a fight. I was just like, all right, whatever. And at the end of the day, like we was cool. We was cool.